Aye, welcome. According to Vanguard reports, there is a serious verbal clash going on between Senator Orji Uzor Kalu and Festus Keyamo's media aide, Mr. Tunde Moshood. The issue started after Orji Kalu claimed that Nigerian pilots and cabin crew are involved in substance abuse. My people, that kind of statement can shake an entire industry, right? It is not something you just say on live TV or in public without evidence. And true to form, Keyamo's aide came out swinging. He said Orji Kalu's statement was reckless, baseless, and just a desperate attempt to get media attention. Now, let's talk straight. This whole matter is a perfect example of how Nigerian politicians love to talk carelessly and later pretend it was just a harmless opinion. Orji Kalu is not an ordinary man. He's a senator, a former governor, and someone who once owned an airline. When someone with that kind of history says pilots and crew in Nigeria use hard substances, that's not a small allegation. It's a big deal. It can damage confidence in the aviation industry. It can scare travelers, and it can even affect foreign partnerships. But what did Keyamo's aide say? He fired back with full force. He said Orji Kalu's comments were dangerous and could create unnecessary fear among travelers. And honestly, he is right on that point. Nigeria's aviation sector already struggles with trust and reputation, and this kind of careless talk does not help. Mr. Moshood reminded everyone that the aviation industry is one of the most strictly regulated in the world. Pilots and crew go through medical and psychological tests under the International Civil Aviation Organization standards. So it's not something you can just wake up and accuse them of without proof. But here is where it gets interesting. Mr. Moshood also brought up Orji Kalu's past. The man used to own Slok Air, an airline that collapsed years ago. It was registered in Nigeria but operated mainly in the Gambia before shutting down in 2008. Moshood suggested that maybe Kalu's bitterness comes from the failure of his own airline. Maybe this whole outburst is just frustration and envy because the current aviation ministry under Keyamo is actually making progress. And honestly, that theory makes sense. When someone fails at something, they often look for ways to drag others down to their level. Let's be honest, Nigerians are tired of politicians who talk before they think. How can a former governor and senator make such a damaging statement about an industry that employs thousands of professionals? These are people who wake up every day to make sure passengers reach their destination safely. For you to generalize and say they use substances, that is not leadership, that's carelessness. And we know Orji Kalu, he loves attention. He's always finding ways to stay in the news. Today he's talking about aviation, tomorrow he's attacking government policies, and next week he's playing the victim. This is the same man who once faced corruption charges, yet he loves to lecture others about ethics. Nigerians can see through that act. Now, let's give some credit where it's due. Whether you like Festus Keyamo or not, his ministry has made visible efforts in the aviation sector. Moshood listed several reforms, implementation of the aide framework to make aircraft leasing more transparent, new bilateral air service agreements to open up Nigeria's air routes, a digital portal for consumer protection so passengers can report unfair treatment, and upgrades at major airports like Murtala Mohammed International Airport. These are not small things. They show efforts, even if everything is not perfect. So when someone like Orji Kalu comes out and says pilots are using drugs, he's not just insulting the aviation workers, it's also trying to destroy the progress being made. You can criticize, yes, but at least do it responsibly. Don't throw accusations that can damage an entire sector. This is the problem with many of our politicians. They think every issue is an opportunity to make noise and gain attention. Leadership should come with caution, not chaos. When a senator speaks, the world listens, investors listen, travelers listen, so words matter. When you speak carelessly, it affects real people. Pilots, engineers, flight attendants, cleaners, everyone in the aviation chain. If Orji Kalu truly had evidence of substance abuse among aviation staff, he should have reported it to the authorities, not the media. You don't fix a problem by embarrassing your country on air. That's not patriotism, that's irresponsibility. It's like burning your house just to kill a mosquito. What Moshood said makes sense. He said Nigeria's aviation is being rebuilt with integrity and international standards. That's not to say everything is perfect. No. We still have flight delays, expensive tickets, and occasional post services. But accusing professionals of substance abuse without proof is simply reckless. And to be honest, this whole fight between Orji, Kalu and Keyamo's aide reflects a deeper issue in Nigerian politics. Too much ego, too little accountability. Everyone wants to look like the savior, nobody wants to accept fault. When Kalu's own airline failed, did he not owe staff? Did he not face management issues? So what moral ground does he have now to accuse others of negligence? Sometimes I wonder if our politicians even understand how their words affect ordinary Nigerians. People are already scared of flying because of insecurity and poor infrastructure. Then a senator goes on air to say pilots use drugs. What message are you sending to the people? That their lives are to risk every time they board a plane? That is not leadership. That's fear-mongering. This is exactly why the youth no longer trust most of these politicians. They talk carelessly. They forget that credibility comes from consistency. If you say you love your country, you protect its image, not destroy it because you want attention. At least Moshood ended the statement with sense. He said criticism is welcome, but it must be constructive. And he's right. No one is saying government should not be criticized. But when a senior politician spreads panic with unverified claims, that is not helping the country. That is the behavior of someone trying to stay relevant, not someone trying to help. So here's my final take. Uzor Kalu should stop playing politics with everything. He should learn to think before he speaks. If he wants to rebuild credibility, let him start by showing responsibility in his words. Nigerians need leaders who build, not those who destroy confidence for personal gain. From Vanguard reports, this is the truth. Our aviation sector is not perfect, but is improving. We have dedicated professionals who risk their lives daily to keep flights safe. The least we can do is show them respect, not insult them with careless words from politicians chasing headlines. This whole incident should serve as a warning to all leaders. Words have power. When you speak carelessly, you shake the confidence of a nation. But when you speak truth with wisdom, you build trust. Nigeria has suffered enough. What we need now is progress, not petty drama. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comment section for more political stories and breakdowns. Like and share in the comment section. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged. See you in the next video.